This is an instructional video on how to make the Window Treatments by Melissa version of a non-functioning Roman shade. And I'm holding this down over here because it is especially long. You will not make anything this long. Wide, rather. So the non-functioning shade is the same as the flat shade until you get to calculating where you're going to put your dowel rod cases. On a normal shade, you put them around every 10 inches, and you're going to do the same here except on the first one. So what you need to do to find out where you're going to place your first one is take the drop length that I will have given you in the order. So if the drop length is 18 inches, you're going to subtract that by 8. And that is where you are going to put your first dowel rod case. So in the case of an 18-inch drop, you're going to put your first dowel rod at 10. And you will always have 4 dowel rods and 3 dowel rod cases for every non-functioning shade. It's going to be the same no matter what the drop length is. So if we put our first one at 10, then we put our second one at 10, third one at 10, and then your final drop is going to be marked at 6. When you're doing your cut, when you're measuring for your cut length, make sure that the bottom is going to be 6 inches long. So, just for an example, in the case of this shade, which is 24-inch drop, I subtracted 8, and that made it 16. 16 is where I put my first dowel rod case. And then I put the second one at 10, third one at 10, bottom has 6. That is always the same. After you find out where your first dowel rod is going to be placed, everything after that is the same, no matter if the drop length is 10 or 30. Now, after you've sewn on, and this doesn't get any cord cases, so this is just dowel cases. So after you have sewn on your dowel cases, you're just going to bring these together. And one thing you want to make sure of, because this can get kind of messy over here, when you sew these, we're going to be sewing our dowel rod cases together, you need to make sure that your edges here are lined up. You don't want to sew them together like that. So just going to make sure that those are all there. And then you're just going to sew all the dowel cases together. Kind of do a little reinforcement knot there. Okay, and then you are going to do this all the way across the shade. I'm not going to because this one is 80 inches long. But when you do that, all the pleats will fall into place. Like that. And they'll all be stacked nicely. Then when you're done with that, you put it on the mounting block. The mounting block on these are different only in that they don't get any hardware. You'll notice I have no eye hooks, no cord lock, but it does have Velcro. So you're just going to cover it, put the Velcro on, and then attach the shade to it, and that's it.